Did you miss me? Oh god, it's been nearly 2 weeks since I even was talking about wrestling news stuff. I had plans to do AEW content, but work, life, and the pursuit of the American dream and some BS narrative like that took precedent, so I decided to hold off on that. And I had to resume my podcast after a while, so yeah. Content drought has been a thing for me. Like, I have the ideas, it's just I barely been finding the time, and I keep struggling with sleeping issues all around, so yeah. But I said I was gonna bunker down for tonight. Elimination Chamber, Sami Zayn versus Roman freaking Reigns. Oh boy, the culmination of a near year-long story between Roman and Sami. Don't worry, the saga ends at WrestleMania when Sami and KO fight the Usos, and that will end that storyline. A full year-long storyline initiative was made, and half of it can be credited to Vince, half of it can be credited to Triple H, because reportedly Vince and Triple H initially were going to end it sooner than intended, but then, unlike Vince, who would have done it anyways, Triple H saw the positive reception it was getting and was like, let's hold out on this, we can make it bigger. And then we pulled the trigger at Royal Rumble. Sami Zayn stabs Roman in the back to the point that he has a PTSD non-flashback, remembering the days of the Shield. Oh, those were the days. I wonder what happened to that other guy. Accordingly, he went to some place called AEW, but Tribalists don't acknowledge that. They just go with the narrative that he just never existed or he's retired. I don't know. Sami Zayn, El Generico, gets the Universal Championship opportunity of a lifetime, the Undisputed Universal title, and then people were in this conflict of, do we want Sami Zayn or do we want Cody Rhodes? Well, Sami had kind of lost before it even started, because Triple H reportedly agreed with Vince, saying there's nothing main event worthy mania of this guy. It's not like you dedicated the entire NXT brand at one point around him. So, yeah, he doesn't see Sami Zayn as a main event guy. Oh god, I wonder what happened last time when someone had that thought process, and look how that worked out. And now that guy's in AEW stealing the show with awesome matches every week. Oh god. So, yeah, reportedly Triple H doesn't see Sami Zayn as main event player, franchise player, and it's like, oh god, we're back on this again. Like, this has been a consistent thing I've been saying about WWE for a while. Primarily, look, I'm not saying you can replace Roman with Sami Zayn. Like, let's be real. Sami Zayn, Cody, they're nearing their 40s. Sami's 37, I believe, or 38. Probably closer to 40, but it just annoys me that WWE just was like, okay, we can't give Sami Zayn the run because he's not worthy of it. He's not main event talent level of that, main event player and all that. And I was just like Mick Foley. He was everything WWE didn't want in the guy. They had The Rock, and then they had Stone Cold. Mostly The Rock, but then Stone Cold got over, and they ran with him, and look how that turned out. You got two super mega stars. I'm not saying Sami Zayn can be the mega star that WWE wants for a long-term investment. Like, he'll probably be a couple of years, depending on how it goes. But it's like, it reminds me that WWE has completely forgotten the era when they had the mega stars that they pushed, but they had a whole crop of main event players. If The Rock was hurt, when Stone Cold got hurt, you had The Rock, you had Triple H, you had Mick Foley, you had Kane, you had Undertaker, you had Jericho. All of those guys could come in and fill that void just for a little bit. And if you lost The Rock, well, you still have 7 more people waiting in reserves, ready for their time. And it's just, like, I'm not saying everyone should be main event players. Like, there are people who can't become the main event player, and there are people who could be. It's just this annoying philosophy that WWE has, and it bugs me even more so because Triple H was one of those people back in the day, and they're not just thinking we can have multiple main event players, one or two mega stars, multiple main event players, and they can help fill the void so we don't have to keep pressing the freaking panic button every time when they get out with injury. Because you did this with Cena, God knows how many times. You kind of don't really put Orton in that mega status because of his past, as far as I'm aware, and his multiple injuries with his arms and shoulders. Yeah. But, it's just like, we're at this narrative again where WWE just doesn't want to keep having, like, you can get, like, I'm not saying Sami Zayn should have won an Elimination Chamber. Far from it, he should honestly get the match at WrestleMania, in my opinion. But that's a different matter. It's just, like, Sami Zayn has to eventually beat Roman to get him at least in that we have a reserve main event player. Since Roman's going part-time, Cena's pretty much done, and all of our other and Roman is on the verge of leaving to go to Hollywood, and yeah. But Sami Zayn, he's had this journey where he's been proving them, I can be your guy, I can be your main event player. Like, Sami probably doesn't have the desire to be the top main event franchise player. Like, he's like a Bryan Danielson in all honesty at times, where he'll like, oh, I'll do it. I mean, like, I'm just not interested in it. I just love wrestling, and I would love to be the world champion, but, like, be the megastar, the face of the company? That's probably not for me. I get why they won't do it, because it's Roman. They want to save that big moment for Mania. When he drops the belt. But it's just like, it's 2 nights. You could have Roman lose, or you could do the triple threat route. Reportedly, now this is a report from, had they gotten The Rock, had they managed to get The Rock to come back, fight Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, they weren't going to do the split the titles and have it go to one of the other wrestlers they could put in reserve, they could put on the side, put on the reserves list for main event players. No. WWE apparently looked at Cody and Drew and Sheamus and Sami and were like, look, if we get Rock, we're going to create a 3rd world title, the bronze title, to one of you guys. Cool? And I'm that guy that's like, so your solution was to essentially make a bronze world title instead of just splitting the Universal and the WWE titles, because you don't want Roman to lose, but you're basically handing Cody, Drew, Sheamus, Seth Rollins the bronze belt, the 3rd place belt, and that's not going to piss them off? Okay. So, maybe it was for the best Rock didn't come back, because now we got Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns heading into WrestleMania, and we got Sami Zayn getting his big moment, hopefully, if plans change. Like, we know the planned endgame was clearly going to be Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn teaming up and reuniting that brotherhood of conflict, like the Golden Lovers, but Canadian style. Hoorah! Ole! Ole! And here's the thing. As much as I love the story, the Shakespearean tragedy that is Sami Zayn's history of Roman Reigns, that began all the way back in April, there were some problems. There were some problems. Sometimes it was like, mostly the biggest problem I had at the end of all this was, as much as I get it, I think it would have been better if you didn't have Worlds Apart play on SmackDown and wait till the next night for Elimination Chamber to do it. And then I found out earlier in the day about the arena they were competing at, and I was like, well, it's going to be a bloodbath. Because the hometown hero Montreal is fighting to dethrone Roman Reigns, backed by the Machine Guy, at the same arena where Roman's idol Bret Hart was screwed at. And we're supposed to not think anything of it. Like, let's be real. That would have been a lot. If they actually had the stones to do a Vince McMahon screw job in Montreal again, a Montreal screw job again in 2023 with Triple H, Roman, and Sami Zayn. Okay, here, think about this. It would have been freaking chaos. It would have went into a full-blown rebellion after that, a full-blown riot, because if you thought what happened in 97 was bad, think about what would have happened if they did that now, even if it was a storyline, and the internet amplified the hardcore wrestling fan into tribalism mentality. Imagine that reaction, the reaction Roman Triple H would have gotten from it. Oh god, like Triple H wouldn't be able to do it because of his health nowadays, but like it would have been a hell of a moment to do, a balls to the wall thing. And here's the thing about Roman and his title run as the world champion. If this was the early 2000s to late 2010s, early to mid 2010s, I could believe Roman would drop the belt on this night. But this is mid to present WWE from 2010s to the nows. So it's like, we can't do that. That would require effort. We're not gonna do like a run with Kurt Angle and drop the belt at the show before WrestleMania. That's just stupid. Who would think think that would be a good idea, Vince? Except Vince is more insane than ever. So yeah, it's just, that's the inherent problem. The only time I ever believed Roman was going to lose that world title was either going to be day one pay-per-view, where he would have likely dropped it to Brock, which would have sucked. Luckily, that didn't happen, but through unfortunate circumstances beyond control, aka COVID, because Vince thought firing vaccine COVID tests was a brilliant idea that day. Yeah, within a week, Roman gets COVID just after Vince declares no more vaccination tests. And long and behold, that happened. So, blessing in disguise for Roman, even though he still claims he suffers from after effects of COVID, especially given his past health. So, yeah, that doesn't help matters. And the other time I ever believed Roman was going to drop the belt was Clash of the Castle against Drew. That's it. 2 times I ever believed Roman was capable of dropping the belt. And now I don't believe it was going to happen at the Chamber. I didn't believe it was going to happen at Royal Rumble. I didn't think it was going to happen at WrestleMania last year or the year before. It had a chance had Roman had there could have been a chance with Edge, but then Bryan got inserted, and then it was like, well, I see that out the window. I just couldn't see certain people winning the match or becoming champion. Wait, sorry about that. So, with all that in mind, how you have to tell this story somehow, give a satisfying conclusion, not make the fans go Hell in a Cell 2019 riot angry. My God, even the wrestlers backstage were confused. Like, how the hell does that even happen? Like, Xbox publicly came out and said it. How the hell do you get DQ'd inside Hell in a freaking Cell? Even admitted he probably wasn't going to be brought back after that incident. And whatnot. But, yeah. Roman and Seth and Sami had to tell this story somehow, knowing all these factors were against them, and they did pretty damn well with it. The match was slow at a lot of points, and then it got really kicked into high gear, fulfilling the three-act structure that this match solely was needing for. I honestly was worried it was going to stop at Act 2 before it could really get into high gear. Like a certain match that had never stopped ending because they made 7 matches within 2 to 3 months, to the point of insanity. But really, it's not really the match quality that mattered in this night. It was the crowd. The crowd's passionate reaction to everything. And I kind of also get annoyed. I kind of got annoyed with it because it's like, oh, imagine if this was at Mania, damn it. Imagine if they had the stones to hold this match off, wait another 30 or so days, have the match be at WrestleMania Night 1. Sami gets this big elation crowd. He gets to main event Mania. He may not win it, but he'll be cemented as a main event player and whatnot. And he gets to main event the show of shows, and then he loses, and the crowd goes into pissed off beyond belief mode. Here's the way I see Roman Reigns versus Sami Zayn at Elimination Chamber. This is the best description for me. It was fit for WrestleMania. It's the Shield and Wyatt match all over again. That's how I see this match. It is essentially the Shield versus Wyatt family at the Elimination Chamber years, like, oh god, it's nearly 10 years. 1 year from now will be 10 years. Oh god damn it, I'm old. It's that match that was like, should have been saved for Mania. The crowd was a Mania-like crowd that night for that match alone. And you don't want to wait another 30 days? No? Damn. Like, that's how the Montreal crowd was like. It was a Mania crowd for the B-level show, as WWE would see it as. And you're left wondering, damn it, that should have been WrestleMania. Night 1, that would have been hell of a match. Hell of a match. Along with a much larger, passionate crowd. And then when Roman beat Sami, I was expecting the loudest F you Roman chants and rage out of it. Instead, the heat was different. It was sort of like the Undertaker streak ending reaction, where it's like, and here's the thing, I kind of wish it was the other reaction I thought, because at least I get the Undertaker part because no one saw that coming. In fact, even reportedly the referee, apparently people backstage were not aware of what was going on at the last minute. To the point that people were, to this day, thinking conspiracies, saying that Brock switched the finish at the end, at the last minute, to cement his legacy or some BS like that. Even though Undertaker was pretty cool with him, so I'm pretty sure that wasn't the case. If anything, you can blame Shawn Michaels, because he's the one that kind of brought it up by asking how many more matches you have left in you, and then he just ultimately thought, okay, maybe this should be it. So, thanks, Shawn. Yeah. You could either, he could have waited to put it over on Roman or Wyatt, but instead went to the part-timer. Fucking-tastic. So, yeah. The crowd was quiet. Like, they were mouths wide open, and it was like, I just didn't really know how to respond to this because it was like, it's very weird for me. Like, this is the reaction they wanted for Roman because he's the unbelievable villain. But yet I was like, I kind of had hoped it was going to be the raunchy, violent kind where they were just booing and chanting all the horrible words of F you Roman and go to you know what and whatnot, like the Raw after Mania when Roman looked like he was the one to beat Undertaker and retire him. And I kind of wish that was the reaction he got, like to the point that the crowd would throw drinks or throw stuffed debris into the ring. I know they can't do that now, but still, if WWE had just given them one night to do it, that would have been the perfect night. If they had done that, I feel like that would have been a much stronger visual. If they were going to have an Elimination Chamber and not Mania, I feel like that should have been what they should have been allowed the crowd to do, to voice that displeasure of anger. And then Sami and Kevin Owens send the crowd home happy and whatnot. We get our heel good moment, even though Roman is still the winner. Oh, and Jey Uso came out and still conflicted, and he clearly looked like he wanted to hit Roman in the back but couldn't bring himself to do it because he's in a rock and a hard place. Does he go with non-family brothers, or does he go with the bloodline, his brother and his cousin, who has routinely messed his psychological mind up with psychological abuse and physical abuse? So that's going to be the most interesting aspect heading into the Mania season, because now it's like Sami won't attack Jey, Jey can't attack Sami, Kevin Owens and Jimmy are like, what the hell, man? So there's that at least. I honestly did think Jey was going to pledge his allegiance again to Roman. I'm glad they didn't do that. I'm glad they now know, yeah, we gotta break the bloodline up. It's time to split it down the middle. We gotta break the Usos up. I'm like, granted, that's gonna be terrible for tag team, but don't worry, Jimmy has Solo Sikoa. They could do something. But it really is time to like start splitting the bloodline down the middle. Do a Targaryen style Dance of the Dragons without all the disturbing content they do and the murder. Or you could just do a Bullet Club Civil War style, but the reason why I keep bringing up House of the Dragon is because I've been on an addiction with Game of Thrones stuff. So, thanks House of the Dragon, George R.R. Martin. So, yeah, there's that. I would sincerely hope, and once again, Roman does not stand tall at the end of the show, further showing the cracks within the Bloodline's foundation, even more completely destroying itself. There is an annoying moment, though. And it annoys me, especially when not the Paul Heyman part where he's just running up behind KO, like, this is all your fault, you big meanie. If it wasn't for you, you know this was happening. That's just how I saw it. Like, he was like a tired child trying to... Don't kill me! So, that was the most hilarious part of that. But the thing that kind of annoyed me was Kevin Dunn screwed it up again with his hit-and-run editing. Cut Storm, where he does the infallible need after Sami Zayn get a Hallelujah kick out of Roman for the third time, and Kevin Owens beating the hell out of him as well. Roman is seen, they switched the camera from Sami and Kevin Owens having this eye-to-eye moment to cutting away to Roman walking on his own power. Oops. So, thanks, Dunn. I now no longer believe the Hallelujah kick can be a vicious finisher, especially when you just show Roman walk away on his own 2 feet, not be like carried or be removed off screen, so they could give the illusion that he was carried out by Jey. Oh god, why can't they fire that guy? So, yeah. Sami Zayn goes out on top the gold. He's won. He may have not won the battle, but the war has just begun. As he and Kevin Owens seemingly look like they're back together, though KO does give off the vibe like, do I take this ride one more time with you, man? Or do I just move on? You did a lot for me, I did a lot for you, we did a lot of screw jobs to each other. We really want to keep doing this again and go through another vicious cycle. I hope that's actually the story heading into Mania, because now Jey's in this conflict mode with Sami and the Bloodline, and Kevin Owens should be in conflict with Sami because it's like this cycle, like, are we just gonna tag team together before we have our inevitable fallout and just go back to trying to kill each other? Do we really want to risk that again? Do we really want to keep doing this again? Like, I feel like there's a pretty powerful story you can make with that, with those two elements. But yeah, those were my opinions on the Elimination Chamber and a host of other stuff I just randomly brought up because I just have that habit of talking in multiple places and tangents. I cannot shut it off. So I'll be going to bed soon, and I'll be going ahead and trying to see if I can watch the main event of Battle in the Valley when I wake up, because I am tired as all hell. I'll see y'all again next time, everybody. This was your host, Neo Reality Entertainment, NRE, the WrestleVerse, Eric Brown. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Check out my content in the description below. Stay tuned for more. I'll see you again next time, and I'll see y'all soon. Peace.